Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday live stream. So, like the thumbnail and title suggest, it looks like we're not going to get our wish for quantitative easing or money printing, and this is what went down. So, first of all, I don't know if you've checked this out or watched this, but Jerome Powell from the Federal Reserve gave a testimony before Congress as he was getting grilled by random questions about the economy, what they plan to do, and basically what he pretty much said is really three things. First, he said, look, we're not in a recession. That was pretty good. And then he said that, and this was, I believe this was one of the representatives asked him if there's going to be a central bank digital currency, and he unequivocally said no. The Federal Reserve has no plans, will have no plans, and will not have a central bank digital currency, which was positive in both regards. But this is the one that kind of kickstarted a little bit of a pullback of the market, where he said, look, we're not going to do quantitative easing. This is from Cointelegraph. Jerome Powell told the Senate Banking Committee that the Fed is in no hurry to lower rates, with our policy stance now significantly less restrictive than it had been and our economy remaining strong. We do not need to be in a hurry to adjust our policy stance. And then later he went on and said, we have no reason to want to do quantitative easing. So for all the talk about this is going to happen at some point, it will. It's just going to be delayed, and that's just what it is. So what happened to the market today? Well, even the market insider was pretty flabbergasted. They said the S&P 500 jumps despite Fed Chair Jerome Powell's interest rate warning. And you can see here that over today for the S&P 500, we actually were up, which I was quite surprised. Take a look over the 5-day for the S&P, 1 month, 6 month, and 1 year. The traditional stock market is doing just fine. And it looks like Jerome Powell is on that. He's laid out the direction that he wants to point the ship, and he is not going back, and they are not going to be raising rates. And it looks like no quantitative easing as well. So what happens in the crypto market? Well, that's a different story. When these things happen, the risk on assets, and don't be fooled. I know that of course, I think there's a definite place for Bitcoin in the world finance. But for a lot of these altcoins, you're going to see some damage. And we're doing that right now. In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin's down 2.3. Then you see Ethereum at 2.9. XRP's weathering the storm pretty well, 1.5. Cardano is up 9% in 24 hours because of rumors of an ETF that may come to play. We'll see if that actually happens. 2.2, 1.7. Actually, a lot of people doing pretty good. Toncoin down 3.2. Hedera, Wrapped ETH, of course, Mantra 2.9, and down we go. Aave down 4.3. Just a red day across the board. So that's what it is. People want to get rates. They want they want the Fed to cut those rates. Fed's like, we're not doing anything. Sorry, and that's what it is. So right now you have to ask yourself, and this is why I have these rules above me, which make a lot of sense. If at some point this is too much and you're like, wow, I did not expect that 2%, or actually over the last 30 days, we've seen quite a bit of a drop. Maybe this is too much. Maybe you invested more than you can afford to lose. Maybe you're just above your skis or just out past what you thought you were. So I implore you that if this is really beyond you and you're like, this is an awful day, maybe it's time to cut your losses and get out. And maybe you can hopefully take those profits and get out. And that's just a warning for everybody. It's not very popular to say that, but I just don't really, to be honest, I just don't want a bunch of people around me who are complaining about that they're down 5 or 10%. And this market isn't for you. This might be a little bit of tough love, but you're just not cut out for this. And I understand that you want to make a lot of money, and everybody does. But if this is a day that concerns you, you've gone too far and you need to pull out now. And that's not financial advice. This is just something that I would tell myself if I was freaked out on a day like today. And it's going to probably get worse. So just factor that in. And if you can't handle that, I need you to go. And that's it. So now for you that are sticking around, we can continue and talk about some other things. So also, I'm very happy about this. There's a class action lawsuit that's going forward from OKX. I'm very happy. And the reason why I'm very happy is because they were enabling And when they went against the anti-money laundering, not so much the anti-money laundering KYC. It's not just that. What really got me about OKX and also KuCoin is that they were allowing the scamsters that were out there that were stealing the crypto from people's wallets for a variety of reasons and methods that they had done, whether that be phishing attacks, whether that be some type of open market attacks, or if it was just the basics of, they put out a link somewhere and got it, however they got it, they were using OKX and KuCoin, and they were laundering that money through and walking away with it. And I'm glad that OKX is getting sued, and we'll see what happens to them. But this is just a lesson that if you're a centralized exchange and you're not, if it's one thing to be big brother and being that person who's saying, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do this, and no, you can't do this. And it's a whole nother thing for someone to know that there is illegal activity and turning a blind eye as other people get screwed over. So OKX and KuCoin, I hope this is a wake-up call, and hopefully you right the ship. And then lastly, meme coins. There was this meme coin, the Central African Republic meme coin. Everybody was excited about this a couple of days ago. And this is from Faustin Archange Tudera. I know I messed that up, sorry. But the president, and I was very disappointed in this. And he states, as the second president of the world to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, I've always recognized the potential of crypto and its benefits on a global scale. For all information about Car Meme, visit this one. And people were excited about this a couple of nights ago. And this is what happens. So that meme coin bust through the doors at 46 cents. It was on pump.fun, so you know where this is going to go. 56 cents, and now it's at roughly almost 3 cents. So this happened. Somebody spent 1.9 million to buy 3.6 million car, and they lost 1.5 million. So I mean, they still have 400,000. So good for them. So if you're still dabbling in meme coins, I'm not going to hold it against you. Everybody likes to gamble. I'm just saying that if you're doing this again and again and again and again, you're a degenerate gambler, and you need to stop. And that's it for today. So look, that was rough. Sometimes people got to be a jerk and just call it the way it is. That's it for today. So if you like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, or unsubscribe, whichever way you want to do it. Or if you didn't like how I presented this, let me know in the comment section. Now, if you want to stick around, we'll do a little Q&A, and I'll answer all your questions to the best of my abilities. All right. Random dude. To my Solana point exactly, a poop chain extraordinaire. A poop chain extraordinaire. Mr. B liked it. That's good. The sobering talk most people need to hear. Not going to be very popular. It's okay. I'm not here to be popular. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to help everybody get to where they want to go, and then hopefully don't get wrecked. Brian Bravo says flash sale, and Brian's right. Although, like some people say, Rob, you got to buy the dip. You got to buy the dip. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I've already bought enough in the bear market. And if you think like this is like the worst it could be, just stick around. I mean, for you who have been here since 2021 or 2017 or even 2013, you know what I'm talking about. However bad you think it is, it can always get worse. LMFAO. Diamond hands never sell. That's one way to look at it, right? Pull his back, bone confirmed. No. Crypto Gen Xer is right. These drops don't even affect me anymore. I wake up and, I look back and I'm like, another red day. What are you going to do? It's just, it's not so much the red day. It's just like, I know that, some people will freak out, and I try to be as nice as I can, but some days I'm just like, you know what? Time to cut the shaft. Time to really reel it in, just see who really wants to be here. And it's okay. I mean, if you can't, some people just can't handle it. That's fine. And Meme says it right. Just another Tuesday in the cryptoverse. That's it. I'll tell you what thing is bothering me. Check this out. So I went to Supermax today, over by Costco, one of my favorite places, and had to get eggs. And can you see that? Let me see if I can. Look at this price. It was 30 eggs for $30. Actually, it was $31. Now let me do some quick math. It's roughly like $1 an egg. And like that was on, and I was like, this is what's going on. This is what really got me today. I think this is why I'm such in a bad mood, because I ate eggs like a ton of them every day. And now I'm like, I'm going to go poor. So I don't know how much you're paying for eggs, but you know, with things that are coming, expect higher prices, expect more inflation, expect this to be the norm. I don't think it's that bad for everywhere. Remember, I'm in Puerto Rico, so everything's imported. You know, I got to find a local place. Del Mar, California. Should have sold a month ago. You're right. Should have taken those profits. You know, I mean, I got to tell you, taking those profits is the biggest relief I could possibly have. And then you know, once you take profits, people say, what are you going to do? Just sit on the cash and let it melt like an ice cube? Well, no. Then you get into other assets. You get into land. You get real estate. Worked out pretty well. But it makes me breathe easier. It's just, you know, other parts. But you know who did a great job was Wes, from formerly of Smart Money Crypto, now Smart Money Tracking. And he was on the show a week ago, roughly. And he was just telling us, like, he's like 80% out. He already sold. And I know a lot of people are like, that's crazy. How could you do that? And he's like, look, it's very simple. He goes, I go to Nanit. What the hell is that thing called? Let me see here. I'll find it for everybody. Nansen, that's it. Nansen. And they had this indicator on there. It's called the Stablecoin Smart Money. And what they're able to do is track the wallets of like Pantera Capital and those types of things. And Wes, smart guy that he is, was like, hey, everybody's dumping. And they're smart money. They probably know more than I do. And I'm just going to start dumping too. So he did like 25%. Then he went 50. Then he went like 80%. He's doing good. And he's like, yeah, feeling pretty great, Rob. Good job. That's exactly what you're supposed to. So yeah. And yeah, not even large eggs. The wish says it doesn't. No, the $30 was for 30 eggs. So and they weren't that big. Yeah, that's more like it. $6.35 a dozen were in. That makes sense. Bot's here. Jimmy's here. Oh, everyone as well. Darren's here. Dan's here. Only Wolf Boy, Ian Bell. Just for one egg. That must have been one big ass egg. Let's see. Lettuce hands equals smart investor. Diamond hands equals dumb. Crypto bros lose 90% of the time. There's a caveat to that. And that is, you know, if you just, for the people that aren't here, that are the smart ones, like I think the smart people don't watch any YouTube videos, right? Like we just do it because we like to like see what's going on and kind of peek in. But I think the smart ones are just like, you know, I'm just going to invest and I'm just going to walk away. And that's pretty much it. And then, you know, they come back. If they can come back 4 years, 8 years later, they're up pretty big time. The only caveat to that caveat is this. I would have made a killing in the traditional stock market if I just would have dollar cost averaged during the bear market. I bought at pretty much the all-time highs in 2021 because I thought I was doing pretty well in crypto. So I'm like, because I had just sold a bunch of crypto for some real estate. And I was like, well, I'm going to get into some equities, you know, and I got into Google. No, that wasn't it. Amazon, Airbnb, which didn't do too well. Tesla, and what was the other one? Oh, Mara, Bitcoin mining operation. And I didn't buy anything else. And if I would have bought throughout the bear market, I'd be massively up. I mean, today I'm still up pretty well because the market's doing so good. But again, I didn't do anything for 4 years. I'm like, look at that, 40%. I'll take it. Not bad. And then just recently I did a MicroStrategy a couple months ago. That was pretty good. Holy smokes. Check this out. Bot says, Rob, today I clicked a scam link. It was an incredible rush. I rushed to move my funds. The scam was on a fake FWOGX account. I don't know what FWG, but you're talking about like X or Twitter. That's crazy, bot. And nothing happened to you? Well, that's good. I mean, yeah. You know what's great about bot here is that he recognized it was a scam. How many people have clicked on something like, I don't know if that's a scam or not, and then all their money's gone? It happens. Hey, Rob. Hey, man. What are the top 3 meme coins a good investment? Zero. Well, actually, no, I can't say that. Isn't Dogecoin a meme coin? We're still classifying it as it, right? There's always a caveat to the rules or to what we're talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking. Let me show you what I mean. Dogecoin. First of all, let me ask everybody a question in the chats. How long do you think Dogecoin's been around? And how long has Dogecoin been in the top 30? It's a good question, right? How long has it been around? And here's the last question. What is Dogecoin a fork of? Let's take a look at the answers. I got a 2015. I got 13 years for Doge. I got a fork of Litecoin. I think it said ITC. Yes. Alt season canceled. Bitcoin is a meme coin. I don't think it's true. And this is the answer. So Dogecoin has been around since 2014. It was actually created on December 6, 2013. So I guess you can say 2013. So that's about 12 years or so, right? Quite a long time. It is a fork of Lucky Coin, which is a fork of Litecoin, which is a fork of Bitcoin. And did you know when it first debuted, there wasn't that many alts, and no one knew what the heck a meme coin was. And it debuted number 16. This is on 5th of January, 2014. On 2015, it was number 9. 2016, it went to 6. 2017, still in the top 20 to 14. 2018, it fell to 29. 2019, it was top 25. Then it was 30th in 2020. 2021, 26th. 2022, number 12. 2023, number 8. 2024, number 10. What is it today? Today, it is number 8. So we talk a lot of trash about meme coins because the new ones that come out they are trash. But there's always a caveat, and Dogecoin is that caveat. And I think Dogecoin is going to do quite well. And the reason why is because every single news outlet is talking about Doge. Unfortunately, it's the Department of Government Efficiency and the nonsense that they're finding of how much fraud and abuse and waste is going on in America. Who'd have thunk it? And that word Doge keeps repeating over and over again. Half the country loves it. Half the country is going to hate it. And I think it's going to do quite well. Yeah. Dash. No forking way. Exactly. All in on Trump coin. I remember Zcash. Oh, that was a big one. That was the next privacy one after Monero. I'm waiting to buy a Happy Meal with Doge. Yeah, Dash. Anyhow. Okay. So that was the answer to that question. Any other questions for me, guys? I know that was, and I'm going to ask you guys a question also. How do you like that format? What I just did? Because before we were doing like a lot of stories and a lot of information and a lot of what was going on in the space, but it was like some really major stories and some ancillary stories. Do you want me just to do like shorter stories, like something below 10 minutes, and then we can do like a longer Q&A? Or do you want more information about what's going on in the market and then a shorter Q&A? Let me know. Let me know right here. I had Namecoin and Chainlink. Now this is something I'll be aware of. Gavi says, my fiat currencies in Iran is worth less than Pepe coin. That's the problem. Fiat. I got to agree with Jimmy. Doge is going to be incorporated with X as a payment system. I can see it. Yeah. Individual, what he said if you're weak to leave. Probably could have said that better. Yeah. I remember Zcash for sure. There can be only one. John Q lunch bucket. The M2 is going up. They are printing. And that's true. They are printing. Little by little. Unfortunately, there's tightening going on as well at the same time as they offload their balance sheet. Yeah. Ian Bell. Whoop, sorry. Market is crashing. Maybe. How about phasing out the penny in America? Great monetary debasement indicator. Yeah, but I mean, I saw the report, or I saw the news line. For every penny that we create in America, it costs us 2 cents to do it. So we'll see. I've never heard that. Rob the Nazi. It's an awful, doesn't even have a good ring to it. I still like Zcash, yes. Longer Q&A. Brian says, I believe Ben and you approve speculate simply and quantitative tightening will help turn around the market even if quantitative easing doesn't come. That's all Ben. Ben's on that one. He's the original for that. I just thought it was a pretty good idea. Did you have the question of Powell, did you run out of printer ink? I did. I forgot that guy's name, but he always asked the most interesting questions. And Jim, to answer your question, yeah, in the beginning we talked about that. Actually, you want to listen to it? Here's the answer. I did like this answer. Maybe, I'll make sure you can hear this. Because the question is, are we going to do a CBDC? Because, what about a digital dollar? That sounds pretty good, right? That's it. That's the way to answer a question. Yes. And don't elaborate. That's it. And that's all. I like that one. Yeah. And more questions. Digital dollar. Yeah, no need to hear it either way. Oh. What else we have? Mordiasa, what's the most important indicator you're watching to exit? Jim Cramer. As soon as he says that that everything's gonna keep going up forever. Actually, if Jim Cramer comes out and he says, you know what, I think Bitcoin's gonna get a super cycle. I'm like, oh, that's it. Then we're all done. Pi cycle top is a good one. I'm not for sure if it actually hit the tops, but there's a link in the description, and I talk about, I think it was 10 or so that I'm looking at concurrently. And once those hit, then those are the ones I'll probably say, oh, this is it. Cardano. Yeah, quit time. Please don't run away during the bull run. You can do less content and just turn off the comments. Nah, it's not you guys. I think some days it's just kind of I think we're in repetition mode, right? So I need to do something different. That's what it comes down to. And one of those things is minimizing time, not wasting everybody's time, making things a little bit more concise. That's for sure. MVRVZ score is a good one. Yes. Good point, quit time. Thank you. Cardano. Hey, if they get that ETF. Ian Bell, super cycle. Yeah. Yeah, random dude. Ben's in his basement working the charts and we'll report in soon. They'll probably have a banger of a video coming out pretty soon. Jay Studio says, do you feel like the bull run is being delayed? Yes, I do. And it's a funny thing because every time we think that the bull run's not going to come because of this reason or other, it hits. And then every time we think that we can delay a massive pullback or a crash, it still happens. So far, the 4-year cycles are intact. And again, I know last year or last cycle, we topped out in April, and then we had a second top in November. But in 2017, it was just straight pullbacks and dips and valleys until we went from Bitcoin of $1,000 to Bitcoin to 20,000. And we almost hit $1 trillion market cap. And then, of course, everybody talked about, well, it's never going to go down because it's the future. And then, Wall Street says, well, watch us short the hell out of that. And then they did it. And that was it. Malsor, how do you plan exits? It's a good question. Watch that video in the description when I'm going to sell 80% of my crypto. The bigger question, Malsor, you have to ask yourself is, what do I do when I'm sitting on a pile of cash? And this is the thing. You know, in the beginning when I said, you know, if you can't handle it, get out. You know, I did mean that. But here's another thing that I know, which I think most of you know already. You'll never be out. You'll never be out 100%. It's like that scene in The Godfather. It keeps sucking me back in. Because as soon as you start to sell, and you, at some point you guys will, and you'll take some profits and great for you, you'll still be curious about the next thing. Or what about this? Or the thing that's really going to mess it all up is you're going to say, okay, well, I sold my Cardano when it was $5 and I timed it perfectly, if that's what it goes to. And then you'll be happy for a couple of weeks. Then you'll go back and you'll look at the price and like, ooh, it's $5.15. And then, ooh, it's $4.50. Okay, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. And then, ooh, it's up to $6. Damn it, I knew I should have stayed in. Maybe I should start buying. And then the whole process repeats. Or somebody will talk to you about, hey, did you hear about this XYZ coin? It's a gamble. It's a gamble. So yeah, Godfather Part 3, exactly. Yep. Lauren says, I like this format. My drive from work to home is 35 minutes. 50/50 news. QA works for me. Okay, I like that. Devashish. Haha. New Tide says, Fed likely to not cut rates until September. So basically one thing to say, to save our bull run is for a massive crisis to appear that requires the Fed to start printing. Yeah, perhaps so. But I got to tell you, it would be interesting to see because we talked about this a couple of days ago, the quantitative tightening, where they're offloading their balance sheet because they bought a bunch of stuff. They bought a bunch of treasuries. They bought a bunch of equities. They put them on their balance sheet. Now they're offloading. At some point, they're going to stop that. And then at some point, they may even, maybe if they do or don't cut rates, maybe if they or don't do quantitative easing, I am very interested to see just how much the liquidity of quantitative easing plays into the factor of if the markets go up. And we can see, I pulled this up because I knew this was going to come up somewhere. Let's take a look at this. This was an overlay I had. The M2 money supply with the, let me get this out of here. Yeah, exactly random. What is this? So this is the workbench where you can put in all types of different indicators on Ben's site. And you have in red, you have the S&P 500. In yellow, up here, you have the total market cap of digital assets, all of the digital asset markets. And this little tiny purplish line is the USA M2 money supply. And we can see that, yes, it goes up in a straight line, but what doesn't go up in a straight line is the digital asset market and the traditional equities market. Look at this. And here we are in 2016. You think with all this printing, it would just keep going up, but it doesn't. There are pullbacks. Remember this one in 2018? Oh yeah, it was a bad one. And then of course, we're still printing. We're still printing. And over here, it's like, okay, well, we all just faltered massively. Let's turn that printer back on. I mean, the printer does, it's not like it's not inert. It does have effect on the markets itself, but it's continuously going up, except for right here. In the 1st of March, 2022, this is when the money printer turned off. And this is when we started to see we started to see a decline before that. This is November 2021. It started to go down. And again, the money printer was still going as of January 2022. January, February, March, stable, 21.72, 21.72, 21.72, and then it started to come off in June. And they reduced the amount of money printing, and now they turned it back on a little bit. And we have until December for the latest data. 2025, don't have that yet. But again, if they don't cut rates and don't have the money supply on, I wonder what the markets will do. We're going to find out. Rob needs your help. That's a good one. Thank you, both of you. I appreciate it. And this is good. The Crypto Bureau. In Australia, more banks are trying to protect us by stopping payments to crypto exchanges. Makes no sense. When US banks want to hold crypto, when did banks get all this power with your money? I don't know. My bank here, Oriental Bank, called me in. Well, they didn't call me in. They just called me. Mr. Wolf, why are you're sending a lot of funds to this place called Coinbase, and we'd like to understand what you're doing with your funds. I'm like, well, you don't need to know. Like, well, Coinbase is an exchange for crypto, correct? Well, yes, it is. Are you getting money from there? Yes, I am at some point when I actually sell and have profits, which you guys have been the beneficiary of because I transfer over there. Then you get to route or work with it, and I get to wire it because I'm buying property. So that's for you guys. Yeah, we're not going to allow you to do that. So if you want to do something else, you can walk. All right. So that's my experience with my bank. Now, USAA has had no. Did you know that USAA? First of all, it's for military personnel, or if you have ever had a family member in the service, you can sign up as well. USAA is great. They actually had an integration with Coinbase at one point where you could see your portfolio. I think they did away with it. I put it in once just to check it out, but they're awesome. They're just like, hey, since you've been with us for like almost 3 decades, sir, what can we do for you? And it's awesome. Some banks suck. All right. Australian banks really do clamp down, just like MJ was talking about. Larry, getting my eggs way cheaper from people who raise chickens. $4 a dozen. Yeah, I eat about a dozen eggs a day. That's like $12 a day. I know. Ben thinks alts are completely dead unless there is QE. Ben might have a good point. We're about to find out. Thanks, man. The Gestapo opened an office inside every bank. Yeah. Ian Bell, sucks to say major banks have no problem with crypto. They just have bigger fish to fry. I think their problem is they need to figure out how they're going to be able to stay afloat. In 2024, I think the foot traffic or physical infrastructure banks, I think there was a reduction by 26% across the board. The reason is because they're not actually needed, and there's actually more competition, especially with neobanks, banks that are just basically based online. I think if banks were smart, it's okay. This is not going to come out right. If the Democrats were smart, they would have figured out that they should embrace crypto and digital assets. If they would have done that, I think they would have done a heck of a lot better in the latest election, and not just for the president. I mean, for everything. Now it's up to the banks to figure it out. Like, look, there's a lot of people who want crypto and digital assets. We should help them custody that because of SOB 121 that just went away. We should be able to get in there and custody it for them. Now, me personally, I'm not big on a bank custodying it for me. I just don't need them to do that. But for other people, they're like, I don't want the hassle. I don't want to deal with I don't want to deal with the hacks. I don't want to deal with putting on a piece of paper in the case of fire, everything gets burned up. I don't want to deal with spammers and scammers. Just let the bank handle it. And if you guys can insure it, great. They don't even care about fractional reserve lending. And if the bank actually goes under, they're going to get pennies on the dollars. I mean, that's a whole nother video. I shouldn't even have said that. But I think that if the banks were smart enough, they would figure it out and go, you know what? We need to do this because there's revenue here that we can dip into. I mean, BlackRock figured it out. I'm sure they can figure it out. So I think that's what the bank should do if they want to stay afloat. Yeah, too big to fail. Un video en español. It would take a lot more practice from me. Sorry, Cosmo. Let's see. They don't want us affording eggs. They want us eating roaches and crickets and nothing and be happy. I hear that rumor too. Oh, look at that. I had chickens for years, but it got to where the food was too expensive. It's not cost effective anymore. I can get 2 dozen eggs at Costco for $3 or $4. Oh, there's another thing. People were asking me like, well, if you're right next to Costco, why didn't you just go to Costco with the eggs? I did, and guess what? All gone. All gone. So I should have gone there first. Get out of here. I buy duck eggs, $8 a dozen from the farm. Duck eggs are about 2 to 3 eggs bigger than hens. I wonder how much creatine's in each one of those eggs. Yeah, Jimmy says it. What a shame the other banks are not clamping down to verify the source of funds. Lots of laundering. Lots of laundering going on. Happens everywhere. Yeah. Rich are able to price and criminally secondary cash. Very true. And I think that's it. I'll leave it with that. If you're looking for creatine, buy herring fish. That's a good way to stop it on a crypto channel. That's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Everything we talk about are very time sensitive. Again, let me know how you like this format. Do you like it better, a little bit shorter on the news, a little bit longer in the Q&A, and just get to the good stuff. Let me know. That's it for today. Thanks so much, everybody. Adios. Great.